All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Burna Boy up for his third single since I told them. Okay, which feels like his third single for the album. We don't know which tracks of the three would make the album. It's fair to think this one would update and probably higher because of how successful it was in terms of the presence. Grammy nominated, one of the highest charting records in the country as well. But that was a very, very obscure moment in terms of Burna's rollout of hits. Higher feels like a hit, but it doesn't at the same time. But regardless, I think he has made some signs. I'll say this. He has made some signs that feels like he has kind of done it all. Now, is the motivation as it was? It clearly isn't, to be honest. It doesn't feel like the motivation that Burna has had in terms of going into a studio to lay down some records. It's not felt like the motivation has been. It's not been quite evident, with some of the signs were of him saying with the money he's seeing, it's gonna test his love for music. His love for music is being tested with this rollout apparently. So yeah, man, that would be the one reservation I would say in terms of approaching Burna songs post that statement. I think it's coming back now. That how true that statement was a red, I won't say like a red flag, but it was some glaring signs to, hey, look out for this next Burna drops. It probably might not be probably the most passionate Burna records that we're getting out of, but it might be also a fair case that this might be old songs that he's bringing back on. That regardless, I think it's not going to be hitting the heights that we've already been accustomed to him, and it's going to be a strong legacy act if it doesn't necessarily like connect per se. But regardless, man, we're here for new music. Let's tap into what's in front of us now to see. I heard lots of opinions about this one. I'm excited to get into it myself to see how it's gonna hold up. Very polarizing, like most drops, I would say, with any big name acts. Let's see for ourselves, man. Let's see for ourselves. All right, let's do it. Burna Boy with updates. Let's go.
Back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality, back to life, back to reality.
UX. Shout out to UX, man. Visuals. I like the imagery of this. All the ups, They're pulling up against my guy, and he's just there with one hand. Let's go.
On my day, then no fit touch my energy.
Let's go. Hey.
If I no get money, not disability. Baba, so forget me, my shy blocking. My lost out, ready for one cow. I got ya cow. My updates go late power. One power. Take them to ya cow.
Real quick, the sample is quite intrusive in the first spin right now. I'm getting so like it's an art form, having a soul sample in some sense, or having any sample regardless, especially with vocals and trying to instill those vocals into the production. It can get tricky. In this case, I don't think it's quite working to where you want a sample to work, especially with vocals. I'm getting so much intrusion into Burna's voice right now from the sample. It's not looking good. Okay, baseline. Let's go. Oh, okay. Okay, second verse. Standard Lagos nights for Burna, man. I love how the visuals are trying to tie it into his lifestyle. Essentially, the song is emphasizing on his lifestyle, and we're getting visuals that relay that. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay, so far production is very calculated in the pure, like, I don't want to say in the pure retro Fela-esque aesthetic that we've kind of seen Burna in many instances. You can tie back to many of the production directions on African Giants. You can definitely see the similarities on that one. P2J is obviously, when it comes to his traditional efforts, we've seen it from his Morario efforts as well. The first 3 tracks from Wiz's album as well. Like, you can see obviously that he's been getting very detailed with his traditional efforts and the folk elements that he's been adding to his production, and it's evident here, and it's beautiful because it ties back into Burna's essence as well. But so far, in terms of the hook, in terms of the meat of the song, the pre-chorus seems very wordy for a Burna song that feels very jolly and exciting and fun. The production gives you the energy of anybody, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't want to say Killing Them, but Anybody is the song you can liken to in terms of the structure of it. And I'm not getting that very concise, very structured pre-chorus into the chorus. The chorus is now just him humming. I feel like we'd have gotten something out of that moment, but instead we're getting a humming moment or an ad-libbing moment for the meat, for what feels like the meat of the song. And then we had the distracting sample on this one. It has some things that is holding me back a little bit. I'm not necessarily, like, outside of the production that feels very, very Burna-esque and grand in Burna fashion. I'm not getting anything else, honestly, from this. And it's, yeah, man, let's move it on. Let's move it on forward. This is tricky with Burna, bro. This is the visuals. The drum rolls, are you kidding me? He's doing some MJ moves. Wow. Hey, Soul Train, okay. Shout out to UX, man. Visuals are clean. Visuals are clean, man. That was interesting, bro. That was interesting. Burna, okay. Burna with his 3rd single. I mean, I already made my points, I think, I would say, out of this one. Yeah, man, like, again, silver lining here is production, I think, in terms of capturing that Burna essence. Again, I kind of liken it to Anybody. I think that's the only song that comes to mind when I think of this record. Very, very Nigerian, very rich in that Fela essence and that live instrumentation elements and the pace, the energy, the chants, the call and response energy that it feels like. I think we got that out of the production. Super sleek bass line and drum rolls to accompany us to transition parts of the song. I think it was brilliant from P2J. But yeah, man, Burna, in terms of substance, in terms of weight, in like, okay, I don't want to use Burna. I don't use substance in the Burna context. That's a different conversation. But in terms of like something to hold on to have some level of replay value for the song, I think the moments where he has those, he kind of gave it up by one, making it worthy, and of course the sample on this, man, it's obnoxious. It's an obnoxious sample. I know he's giving us the back to life thing, and it's cool. It reminds me of the intro to Belly. That movie, the intro scene, back to life, back to reality. But it's not a sample that was quite neat, man. And that's a P2J gripe, to be honest. It's part of the production. It's supposed to be part of the production. How it's mixed, it's not friendly to Burna's pre-chorus. It's not good. It makes it quite chaotic and hard to grasp, at least on my first listen. Again, first listen perspective. It's hard to grasp because of how chaotic that pocket sounded. And when he wanted to get some level of breathing air for Burna to really take charge, he left it to the just the humming. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, the arrangement, even though there's some potential here, but I'm just not a fan of how it's been arranged. All right. So a little underwhelming, man. A little underwhelming for this Burna release. A little underwhelming. Um, it's crazy to say that bundle by bundle sounds better now. Am I crazy to say that? At least bundle by bundle had a concise like direction to it. You knew what exactly you were getting out of that song. And it has a groove, it has an energy that it calls you to. This one doesn't really call you to do anything, bro. It doesn't really call you to do anything. But yeah, man, I don't think there's a lot of engagement with the song. Is with the listener is what I'm saying. Essentially, it's just a flex of a PTJ moment, and one obnoxious sample to ruin it. But that's it. That's it, man. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this one.